and his son is very active in the teaching and coaching in the system now. This gentleman has 16 league titles at Okemos, 11 district championships, 5 regionals, 4 semifinals, and 2 state championships to his credit. His overall record of 414 wins, 156 losses, and 27 years of coaching. And it gives me great honor to introduce our National Men's Coach of the Year nominee, Stan Stoles from Okemos.
Our 4th inductee tonight is Marion Piggott. His presenter is Frank Pedawa.
Mr. Irving, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's certainly an honor to introduce this grand old guy over here. I haven't seen him in quite a while, but every time I see him, he gets better looking, and plus the fact he's a lot wealthier than I am. I always think of Coach Piggott and father when I view the Newberg Hoosiers, and I'm sure you remember that Indiana school named Marion that went on to capture the Indiana State Championship, basketball championship, with just insurmountable odds. They were a small school, and there was no classes in Indiana, and they beat everybody, and it was just an incredible movie. In fact, a movie was made from it. I think of Coach Piggott and his Fowler Eagles, who too were a small Class D school, and they won the Class D state championship. And listen to this, Stan Stoles, you'll never believe this, but we never had a home game. We played every game on the road, and the advantage, of course, was never with Coach Piggott, but somehow he managed to overcome that insurmountable odd and produce a winning championship team. He used to call his team the Orphans because of no home facility. And I remember Hal Schramm, and Rich Fox will attest to this, I'm sure he will. There was a big quote in the Free Press one day. It says, "Death taxes and Fowler High School and Marion Piggott are the only certainties these days." A tremendous compliment. I can remember one time we were playing, we must have won about 10 or 11 or 12 games, I forget what it was, it wasn't important. But Coach was beginning to realize that we were getting a little bit cocky for us, and I'm sure we were. And we'd always go to Lansing to scrimmage a team like Sexton or Eastern. Now you might think, well, a Class D school playing these big schools, that's quite a challenge in itself, and it was. But this particular day, we jumped in his big whiteboard. You still get that whiteboard, Coach? Anyway, we go to Lansing, and then we pull out the East Lansing, and lo and behold, we go to Michigan State University, and for 2.5 hours, we scrimmaged the Lansing or the Michigan State University JVs. And if we scored a basket, I don't remember even score a basket. They completely annihilated us. And going home, we were so tired and exhausted we served as superintendent, principal, athletic director, taught several classes, and coached both JV and varsity basketball. He attended Eastern Michigan University, and he got his master's from Michigan State University, and he began his teaching career in 1925. His stats are something like this. He had 6 league titles. He had 8 district titles in 38, 39, 44, 45, 48, 50, 51, 52. He had 4 regional titles, 3 quarterfinal titles, 2 semifinal titles, and of course he won the state championship in 1952. He also coached at Lyons High School and for 3 years, and also at Ionia High School for 2 years. I guess I'm looking at records of like 326 wins and 124 losses. But you know what's more important than winning and losing? It's impact. Let me show you what impact is. Well, everybody from Fowler and who's associated with Coach Piggott, please stand up. It's with a great deal of pleasure and pride as I present to you the famous, notorious, wealthy Marion Piggott. I want you to do something for me. Will you do something? He's going to be 88 years young tomorrow. Let's all sing happy birthday. Now, we're going to do it all together. Happy birthday to you. Happy
wasn't for the coach of Fowler, Dan Smith, and my nephew, that Piggott down there waiting. They did all this work, collected all the material, and I didn't do nothing at all. I want to tell you a little story about Frank. You know, he's playing in the regional. First of all, Frank was a varsity guard for 4 straight years, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And his partner was George Fox, also for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. And of course, George went on to coach Johnson. But we were playing in a regional over to Owasso. For some unearthly reason, he must have been shooting at the moon. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. So we took, he missed 2 or 3 shots, and we took time out and brought him over there to the bench, and we suggested that instead of playing the left guard, he go to the right guard to play on that side of the floor, which he did. Lo and behold, he shot 5 straight baskets on the other side, and he put the game right out of control of our enemies. There's 2 or 3 other instances. There's in every game that we played, I could tell you about something, but there's 3 I want to tell you about, and one of them was I had to coach the JVs as well as the varsity, because then we didn't have the money that we have now, you know. So I took my JVs up to Parrington, and we played in an old, upstairs in an old store building. And well, we were getting beat by a point, and time was running out on us. And Gordon Williams got a hold of the ball in the back court and come up the center, and he shot a low arch. And as the ball was going to the basket, I didn't even look at the basket. And as the ball was going to the basket, the whistle blew, and the ball fell through, and we won the game. Now that was one of them. The next one was the fact is that we was in the tournament. We was down to St. John's playing in the district, and we had a boy come down from Sheboygan, and he stayed with his aunt, Army LeClaire. He couldn't play the first semester, but second semester he could. And one of the boys got balled out. We went into overtime. It was tied. We went into overtime. They didn't know that in that time, that in overtime, the first one that made the basket won the game. And so the ball went up and down the court twice. The second time we come down, why, Army got it out around the foul line someplace, and he turned around and he shot, and the ball went in. And Army LeClaire won that game. And then we had another instance in the regional up at Alma. And Alma up there, we was playing Morley. And Morley had a good team, and they were a little bit ahead of us. And George Fox, wherever he is here, he better get under the table. He took the ball and went tearing right towards the basket. We was 3 points behind. He went tearing right towards the basket, and the Morley guard took his stand, and George shot and went right into him, and I don't know whether he knocked his false teeth out or not, but anyway, that ended George's playing. That was his foul that sent him out of the game, but he made the basket, so we was 1 point behind. So I went to the bench, And we had a boy that practiced all the time on long shots, Francis Philpouch. And I put him in and told him to get a shot. Well, the Morley bunch dropped back around the basket. Instead of going in little ways, he just got on this side of the center towards our basket, and lo and behold, he shot a long one. And I didn't look at that basket either. But I knew just as quick as the Fowler bunch went into hysterics that he made it. And to this day, Francis doesn't let any of his outfit that he comes in contact with know. He lets them know that he made that shot and won that game. Then there was some sad games that you might like to hear about. We went over to Ovid. The second team was playing on the floor, and they had a boy playing. And that kid could shoot baskets. He got me one right after another, and I went to my bench constantly trying to stop him, and I could not stop that boy. And naturally, Ovid won the game. The second team won the game. And the next year I knew that I had to look out for that boy because he would be a senior. That is, he would play on the varsity. And so when I went in, the first thing I hit the coach was to ask about this boy. And he had passed away during the summer. That kind of took the sting out of that victory. And then we had another victory, and that was one a heartbreaker. All of my players, 4 or 5 of them out of the state championship will know. We was playing in Jennison Fieldhouse, and we played against Morley. And the Morley coaches went out and got a bunch of Indian boys to come in and take over and coach. He coached them. Well, I was always crazy about the Indians, and I always wanted to teach them. But that kind of was a bad night for me. And they beat us by a couple points. But through the grapevine, several years afterwards, I learned that that boy, that Indian boy, was killed in the Vietnam War. And that took the sting out of that game, although it was a state championship. Those are some of the instances that I can't help but remember and recall. I got a letter from one of the boys on the team of 1950 from Texas, and he wrote a very nice letter, and he blamed himself personally for losing that game, which wasn't true. I'll write back to him and kind of assure him that wasn't. Now, the basketball to me is that you let the individuals think on the floor. They do the thinking. You can talk to them during timeout, and you can talk to them during half. But you let them do the thinking, and I can't recall of an individual that I ever coached which didn't do good. Now, for instance, LeClaire is down in Mississippi. He has 3 factories in Mississippi and 1 factory in Texas. I think he's got more money than I ever saw. And then there's that George Fox. He went over here, finally went over here after him and his brother Leon beat me in every tournament. over here to Waverly, and of course, naturally, you know Coach Johnson. When you have boys like the Fox family, the Fox boys, and if you ever get in trouble downtown on the run of red light, you just want to ask for Richard. That family. And then you got the Thalens, and the Thalen, my centers, is state championship centers here tonight. And then you got, run into that group, you got Everett Silman, or Stu Silman. You didn't have to worry, you just had to sit on the bench and shut your eyes, and that was all it took. I wish to take this opportunity to thank all the people from Fowler and the vicinity, to thank the boys that I coached in Lyons, Ferris, and his friend back there who played for me, and also from Pewaukee. If you ever get over to, I mean, not Pewaukee, Ionia, if you ever get over to St. John's and you get into a little trouble, just ask for Denny Watt. Denny Watt, he's down there working, and he helped me over to Ionia. And then there's the last one over to Ionia that really was a good friend of mine and got behind me and pushed me, and I didn't know I was being pushed, was just stand up wherever you are. So I wish to thank everybody for giving me this opportunity to talk to you people tonight. It's probably the biggest event of my career, and I'm sure that Dennis Smith will be waving the state championship flag not in too many years, because he's a darn good coach. I thank you.
He's amazing. I don't even know who started for me last year.
I can't think of a player who represented our game with more class and dignity throughout his career than Julius Erving. After basketball, he's also been equally successful. His love and genuine concern for his family and for people in general is also of Hall of Fame caliber. Not only has he become a very successful businessman, his list of civic and community service awards is about as endless as his basketball accomplishments. Just to name a couple, he was a National Urban League Whitney Young Award winner in 1984, the National Lupus Foundation National Award winner in 1985, the Walter Kennedy Service or Citizenship Award in 1983, and again, it goes on and on. At this time, it's with a great deal of pride and appreciation that I introduce to you a certain future Hall of Famer himself, Julius Dr. J. Erving.
No, I would like to thank members of the head table, the honored guests tonight, the citizens of Michigan for welcoming me here to Michigan once again.